Hello and welcome to the second episode of Judging Life. I'm your host, Judge Davis, and I'm joined by Rescheduling.
Hello.
Now, we said we weren't going to talk from Wednesday, and then we just talk about sort of everything we've not spoke about, if that makes sense. We spoke every day. It didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. But one thing I have noticed, I don't really read the news much, but I have a glance. When it was peak lockdown, I was, in front of the telly every day, 5 o'clock, Boris Johnson, what's going on? But since it's sort of eased off and no one seems to care anymore, I don't, to be honest. I'll be honest, I'm sure you're the same, back in work.
I don't really watch the news that much, to be honest with you.
Same.
It's just bad news all the time. I can't be asked. They try to manipulate you as well. It's not like the truth. Most of it's not the truth. Like some of it would be obviously, but like they do it in a manipulative way.
No, they do. And I think what I've noticed, what seemed to have popped in my head over some pieces I've put together, and this is only my own opinion, but I think they're preparing us for a second lockdown, a second wave of coronavirus, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
And I'll tell you why. So, first of all, coronavirus, obviously, everyone knows what it is. So I read today, as it stands, 7.6 million people have been infected, 420,000 have died. So that's just over 5%, which, there's a lot of diseases that kills more people, but we've been stuck in lockdown because of it, because there's no vaccine, and, everyone will have to get vaccinated, but that's another podcast.
Do you think coronavirus is man-made?
I think coronavirus, obviously, a coronavirus is just like the flu, ain't it, and pneumonia and things like that. So I think there is a coronavirus there, but it's not that bad. Like I've just said, 7.6 million infected, 420,000 died. That's just over 5%. Just reaffirm that, because what you've got to think is, out of them 420,000 people, how many of them are the ones where it's already had illnesses, or was gonna die anyway?
Yeah, and like how true is their tests as well? Because apparently the tests weren't true at first. Like they weren't 100% like reliable. So like, are they now? Because I haven't heard any more about that recently. And
Exactly.
I don't know if they are, to be honest.
And the Premier League, they're coming back, and they've been doing loads and loads of testing. And I think I read yesterday something like 0.5% of tests come back positive. But all these that have had the virus have not even known, because they're so healthy. They're so healthy anyway. They're all between the ages of 18 to 35, fit, training every day, eating well. So they don't know. So the message is, just look after yourself. Just look after your health. Have a good immune system, and you'll be all right. It's just like the flu.
Yeah.
But I think the government are sort of using it to get a bit of control. And why I think the media are sort of planting the seeds for a second one. So I've seen an article, it's Sunday today, I seen an article probably Friday, and it was the R rate that they talk about, it's back up to 1. And they say if it goes over 1, it's a risk again and potential lockdown again. And that there's certain areas in England that's more infected than others. So these certain areas will have to go in lockdown. And I just thought, oh, okay, that's going to happen soon then.
Probably.
And then today I seen the world's largest container ship has arrived after a 6-month journey. So if you're 6 months ago, we're in June, it's January when the virus started in China. This ship was on a 6-month journey, and it left from China, and it arrived today. And on its way, it's passed through South Korea and Holland and Belgium and Germany. And I just think, okay, coronavirus is peak in China in January. This ship's left. What? Like, do they not think that maybe they don't really state what's on the ship? It just said a variety of goods. But the ship's the size of 4 football fields. That's four football fields, so 400 meters long, 200 foot wide. But it's just full of a variety of goods. Like what's that? So not 400 meters long, 400 foot long.
It's always a bit dodgy.
And I think that ship just screams coronavirus to me. all over it if it's real, which of course the government's saying it is. So then all these countries it's passed through, are they suddenly going to have other outbreaks? Belgium, where they've already had it bad. Germany, they've had it bad. They've dealt with it okay. And this ship's arrived today, just full of coronavirus on its various goods. So there's another little just things piecing together, because then they just say, "Oh, the R rate's over 1, and this ship's arrived, and the coronavirus has spread." And then because there's been so much protesting going on, that's also made it spread. So lockdown.
I seen it,
That,
but like
and
I feel like it's forced though, yeah, because like I seen this video the other day of like police and like I don't know, just random people dropping off bricks for the protesters as if they like want it to happen, as if they're like setting it up. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit weird.
yeah, it is strange. I mean, there's a lot of theories on that, isn't
Yeah,
there?
there's theories all over the place, but like well, how much do we really know? That's the thing. Like, people who see these theories, like, do you even question yourselves? Because I do.
But it
Like,
is all
when I see
piecing
these things.
together. It is all piecing together. It's like, why are they suddenly stirring up the race thing after a worldwide virus? You know, the guy George Floyd got killed, but the race things happened every day, like we said. But before I get onto the police, to be fair, because there is another thing that's happened that I want to talk about, but because I'm on the coronavirus, I may as well get that over with. Because China, another thing I seen yesterday, China, Beijing, new surge in coronavirus. They Beijing's largest food market has been closed, and all the 11 neighborhoods around it. But Beijing's got, I think it said 1 billion people, or 50 million. No, I think it was 50 million. So these areas are a lot of people. They had no cases at all for 50 days. Then suddenly they've had 50. And so China have just gone, okay, lockdown. They're just back in lockdown in Beijing.
Right.
And a Beijing spokesperson has told Sky Asia's correspondent, apparently, that they're in wartime emergency mode. But all these people who
Jesus
got tested,
Christ, man.
out of 517 people who got tested, 45 tested positive, but they all weren't showing any symptoms. They didn't know they had it. So it's like, is it that big a deal? Is it that big a deal? Like it's just a virus.
Like,
why lockdown? Like,
yeah, I seen
ridiculous.
a statistic that like apparently like more people drown every year than people that are actually getting killed by this virus.
The amount of statistics out there are ridiculous,
It's
my friend.
stupid. Like, I mean,
like the amount of things that more people in India die a year of being bitten by a snake than how many people in India have died of coronavirus.
let me pull up a theory as well why they'd want to make, like, as I said before, like, is it man-made? Look, let me just pull up some theories.
I mean, I believe it's to get control.
Yeah.
Just get control over
But seriously,
over
look,
the masses. Just put us
like,
in lockdown because, like, bro, lockdown's not like people are breaching it and they're not going to jail. So why are we doing it? I'm not saying don't do it because of the virus, but they know they can't really make us. Because otherwise they'd send people to jail for the breaches, which I'm glad they're not, because it is ridiculous.
Let me just get this up for you a minute. I need to show you this. So
Having some more hot chocolate.
So basically, right, can you see that?
I just need to click on it. Am I looking at the population?
Yeah, so right, so in 1960, right, we were 3 billion, right? And as of 2018, we are 7.5 billion. Look at that growth, right? Look at that growth in literally about 60 years.
70 years or 60 years?
Yeah. Now imagine, right, let me pull that back off. So imagine that is the same for the next 60, 70 years, which it shouldn't be less, it should be more. It'll be even more of a growth in the next 60, 70 years. Now, does anyone think that isn't going to be a problem? Because, like, of course it's going to be a problem. Do you really think, like, we're fucking the planet up as it is, and we're going to get more of us, so we're going to fuck the planet up even more? We just caused this planet so much fucking issues with the people that we got at the moment. So in the next 60 years, if that grows even more, like, at the same rate is going to be insane. Like, I don't know how we're going to control it. And surely someone higher up is thinking about this. Surely they're not ignoring it. That's what I mean. We don't know who runs the show, really, do we? We think it's the government, we think it's the presidents, but like, I don't know. Are they just little puppets? Are they in someone's pocket? Do you know what I mean?
I do. I know exactly what you mean, and that's why that's another podcast, I think, as well. Because
that is another podcast.
A lot of people probably know about the families in power and the banks. The banks run the world. Banks run the world. But why? So the banks run the world, and the same people who run the banks apparently run the media, which people will have to do their research. I'm just talking off a bit of research I've done, some videos I've seen. So why do they want to cause all this unrest?
Yeah, God knows. There's a bigger agenda there. There's definitely a bigger agenda. Anyone who's like blind to it all and thinks that this is just what's happening, come on, man. Don't be stupid. Like, there's definitely a bigger agenda going on.
It's crazy. It is crazy, and that's why I think that goes back to the media. The media are the biggest sort of
manipulators.
Yeah, and
manipulators.
And the nature, someone who doesn't notice things in the media, really, to think, hang on a second, it looks like you're hinting at a second pandemic here. But while all this is going on, there's things going on in the background, like the economy was going to crash anyway because of Brexit.
Yeah, well, that's arguable, but yeah, probably would have.
It's arguable, but it's very likely,
and
the majority of people believe so. And now it's suddenly, no, the economy's crashed because of the global virus.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many theories. But there was more police brutality recorded yesterday, and I'm going to get you to pull a video up.
Right.
So, Rayshard Brooks, 27-year-old father, he was asleep in his car in a Wendy's car park in Atlanta, and the police were called, and he failed the breath test. He was responsive, he was cooperative, fully cooperative, but he failed the breathalyzer test. So then once they tried to arrest him, he resisted arrest, and on the video you'll see he resisted arrest. They got in a scuffle. The body cameras dropped to the floor. He actually got hold of one of the police officers' tasers.
Do you want me to play the video?
Ended up shot. Yeah, I do. Because So I read this article, I've seen it, because now his name, Rayshard Brooks, is a new hashtag for Black Lives Matter. The media are asking some questions. They didn't sort of push race. They didn't mention of course, they mentioned that he's the new face of Black Lives Matter, not the new face, but the new hashtag. They didn't say it was a racial attack. They didn't say anything like that, but they just asked some questions. So they said, watch the video, ask some questions. Did the officer need to shoot?
No, look at that, man.
Did the officer act
He's trying to run away. And not in a, like, I'm getting away kind of way. He's literally running away, scared.
He's got a taser, but he doesn't have... And one of the next questions the media asks are, that tasers are non-lethal. Right. The officers weren't in mortal danger, so why are they shooting him?
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't help himself because he is resisting arrest, of course.
Yeah.
And he's running away, of course, but what does that mean? He should lose his life? Of course it doesn't.
So is this the best video to watch, really? Because
were there reasonable alternatives? They do get into a scuffle, and that's where the body cameras drop conveniently. But why does he need to be shot? It's a taser.
Is this the right video, or should I be pulling up another one? Because this just seems...
I think if you go on Sky News...
There you go.
Go on Sky News... yeah, there you go.
So the audio is playing as well. I'm going to turn it down so we can hear both.
He's asleep in his car. And like I say, he's very cooperative, he's not being
aggressive. He doesn't seem to be doing too much there.
Right, just take a deep breath in.
He's not.
Mouth over the mouthpiece, blow as hard as you can until I tell you to stop.
But he fails the breathalyzer test.
Blow, stop. Very good.
Fails the test. I'd skip this, to be fair.
How many?
You know, I know you can hear he's talking, but it's more when they get into it's the questions the media are asking her, could they dealt with the situation that ensued
What
different?
kind of drinks did you have?
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure. It's something she ordered.
That's
She said top shelf.
just having the chat. He's obviously saying,
I'm not sure.
I can't hear it. I don't know what he's
Yeah,
saying. I can't
you
hear it.
yeah, you won't be able to hear it.
It was my daughter's
But either way, you can see he's being reasonable.
Yeah, he's just having a chat. He said, "How many drinks you had?" He's like, "I've had one and a half, two."
And he could have slept in his car all night and drove home in the morning sober.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he's asleep in his car chilling, so why have the police been called? I know it's not the best, but at least he hasn't drove drunk. But now he's dead. 27, that guy. 27-year-old father. Lost his life because he was asleep in his car drunk. And fair enough, he shouldn't have resisted arrest. You know, you can play out situations different.
Alright, hold on. So this is where he resists arrest.
Yeah. And situations can play out different.
Okay,
So
and the
Sky
body
had
camera drops, so let me see
Sky
the
had
footage
merged
from
them
before.
together. On the Sky article, they'd merged it because there was 2 body camera videos. They'd merged them together. But all that happens is he gets the taser, but he runs away, and they chase him and shoot him. It's crazy. Yeah, this is the one, I think.
For me? Put your hands behind your back.
And they shouldn't have scuffled. Yeah, this is the one. So they're scuffling, and it's fear. At the end of the day, they're 2 men. The policemen are 2 men with tasers and guns, but they're getting out muscled by one guy. Their pride's hurt. They think we ain't having this. Let's kill him. It's not a race thing. It's a power thing, like we were saying last week.
It is a
Look at
power
that.
thing.
They can't contain him, and they're just feeling like wimps now. They're feeling weak. And they're thinking, oh, it doesn't. If that was a white guy, they probably would have done the same. Because they're just embarrassed that their power's been questioned.
Yeah, like
He wasn't
fucking hell, man. There's no need for that, man.
He wasn't going to turn around and taser him and kill him.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Do you know what I mean? And
He's
so,
not got a weapon. Like, surely, right? If he hasn't got a weapon,
no,
you don't need to
he's got
shoot.
a taser.
Yeah, he's got a
That's what I'm
taser.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. He's
But-
not got a weapon where you can kill. Like, you can't kill. Well, you
Exactly.
probably can.
And
if
there's
you shoot
3 of
enough
them.
times,
There's
but
3 police officers.
That's ridiculous, man. They just need to be better at their job, man. To
Exactly.
be honest.
And the media are stirring the pot, asking them questions. And yeah, the answers to the questions, of course, all probably, well, did the officer need to shoot? No. Did he act reasonably? No. Were there reasonable alternatives? Yes.
Yeah.
But no, none of them questions, whatever answer there are to them questions, either way, did he deserve to lose his life? Is the main question.
It's the intent of firing like 4 shots as well. Okay, you might have missed, yeah, but like, okay, if you're gonna like, if you do plan to shoot someone, can you not at least aim low? You know what I mean? Aim low, try and hit the legs or something like that. Not fire off 4 fucking shots simultaneously as if you're trying to put. It's like you're putting some thought into it. Do you know what I mean? Some intent into that. If you're fucking taking 4 shots at someone, if you go and investigate a crime scene, and the person shot over and over again. That's gonna point to intent.
Murder.
That's an emotional murder. Do you know what I mean? That's an emotional murder. That's not just. It's just not just like a hitman would just
And
pop
that
you in the
police
head and
officer
that's
after
it.
probably thought, oh no, why have I done that with everything that's going on? Because the emotions take
Well,
over.
so when did this happen? Sorry,
I think it was yesterday.
this happened
was
yesterday.
Don't quote me fully that it was yesterday, but it's in the last couple of days. I think he was shot yesterday. I'm not sure if he died on the scene. He was shot yesterday and died today, which obviously this is going to get out Monday or Tuesday. It's now Sunday, so Saturday I think this has happened. And also on Saturday, protests got really ugly. So the protests turned violent in England. 15 people reported injured, which it's definitely a lot more. Black Lives Matter clashing with far-right groups, the EDL, Britain First, and the Football Lads Association, football hooligans.
Yeah, the hooligans one.
What have you seen? What do you think?
Like, I ain't really seen too much, but I just heard that the football hooligans are going off on one, trying to to protect some statue in Shrewsbury or something. I've seen something about that.
It's happening in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, somewhat like there's
Wow.
a bunch of
And
like
people in Telford
hooligans.
do say Shrewsbury's racist.
We do say
That's
that sometimes.
that's
we
crazy.
do. We do. No offense to
That
anyone
is
from
the
Shrewsbury.
thing.
Sorry, like, but you know, I mean,
So they wanted to defend the British culture. The police said they'd tolerate protesting as long as it's peaceful, which is strange because of coronavirus. But
exactly. Yeah.
that goes back to the
Clearly,
them.
I clearly can't protest the way people have been protesting at a 2
That's
meter
blame
fucking
the protest
distance.
for coronavirus. That's what I mean. It's all linked somehow. I think. That's blame the protest for. Oh, well, you were protesting, so coronavirus has come back. So you need to go back in lockdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the protest obviously got violent. The EDL, Britain First, and FLA clashed with the police. And it's been reported a bit different to when the Black Lives Matter clash, is what I've seen. It's reported as sort of small scuffles when it's like.
What's the fucking point in them doing anything?
They're racists because it's just an excuse for them. They think, oh, there's a load of people there defending other races. Here's our chance to they're all together. Let's get us all together. They're creating a race war. That's what they're doing.
Sad world we live in. Do you know what I mean?
Did say a couple of weeks ago, race wars coming, and that's
how
the first
far does your head have to be gone to think like
because
that?
Listen to this. They pretend that they're defending Winston Churchill, right? Which people have their views on Winston Churchill. He said some racist things, okay, but he also did sort of lead the country in the war, and we beat the Nazis, which, yeah, he never fought the war, but he was our leader when we beat the Nazis, so he obviously isn't a Nazi, whereas these guys are going there doing Nazi salutes. So it's like, you're pretending you want to defend Churchill, but you're acting like the thing that Churchill's most famous for beating. You're clearly just racist and want to have a fight. But then complain when you get beat up. It's crazy.
Fucking hell. Mentality is a bit fucked, right?
And peaceful protesting, 10,000 people protesting in Switzerland, in Zurich, no problems. Australia, every major city in Australia had protests, no problems. There were some scuffles broke out in France, some scuffles broke out in America, and obviously in England. Why?
Just fucking people being dumb, really, isn't it?
People are dumb. No need for violence, and people are saying there's no need for violence with the Black Lives Matter protests. But all these people are suddenly saying that this is okay for these white racist Nazis to go there and defend the statues. Like how is that right? At least, right? What? And I put a little video out earlier. At least the people defending Churchill, the people for Black Lives Matter, it's racism. Like no one should be racist. No. Whereas the Churchill one, there are arguments either side, so there's no need to get violent. You just got to think, you've got your side, we've got ours. But they're going to fight people who are fighting against racism, which no one. So it's obvious they are just racist.
Yeah, they are just pure racist. Like.
People comparing them to Black Lives Matter need to seriously do some research.
You know those stupid people we were talking about last podcast when we said that you're stupid. Yeah, you guys, it's you. You're fucking dumb.
And all these people have now gone out and attacked Black Lives Matter for pulling down statues of slave owners. Now, I'm not saying... Now, the pulling down the statues is probably... It's not the right way to go about it, but nothing was changing. People have been petitioning... 11,000 people apparently had signed a petition for the one in Bristol to be taken down, and nothing got done. So...
Yeah, these are just actions that people start taking. Like, Isaac made a point last podcast, like, you keep getting hit, and you can't hit back. This is they're trying to find ways to hit back, but taking down statues just one of them.
As well, and... It's a statue. They still didn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
They just took down a statue. But, you know, people are just going to keep arguing, have their views. Social media is not helping with videos circulating and a lot of arguments on Facebook. Like I had Isaac saying to me, a guy we went to school with, he knows he's not racist, but he was sort of defending these Nazi I don't even know what to describe him as. He's Nazi. This guy was defending him, and it's like, we know he's not racist, but I also said, and I'm not going to name the person, I said he's dumb though. Like, the guy's dumb, and he's too dumb to learn different, and that's the problem.
Mm.
We know he's not racist; he's our friends, but he's just that small-mindedness and all these, and the EDL, Britain First, the FLA, they've all just been brainwashed by the media to the point where, like, England is not. I'm sorry to say this, and anyone this may offend, it's not a white country anymore. It just isn't.
No, it isn't.
You instead of looking in the past of what it was, you've just, like we said, just look forward.
Yeah, it's the
You have to
future, man.
look forward. Yeah,
At some point, everybody's gonna be the same fucking colour.
exactly.
So why does it matter? Like, we're just literally wasting time.
But
worrying about
if at some point we're not, even if at some point we're not all the same colour,
we are all human beings, so it
There you
doesn't
go.
fucking matter. Doesn't
there
fucking
you
matter.
go. There
Like,
you go.
literally, stupid.
What sort of been going on in the world that you found?
Oh yeah, so I've seen a very interesting post, but like it'll take us a while to break it down. I suppose we could just have a talk about a few of the things that have said in this post. So let me just get this post up. I'm trying to get this post up without.
What's it sort of around? What's it based on? Is it the one that I said I've seen?
Yeah, so it's basically a conspiracy. It's a bit of a deep conspiracy, but there's a lot of facts and there's a lot of proof and there's a lot of weird shit going on. So,
And the conspiracy again links into sort of the coronavirus and the. Well, does the police brutality really come into that one? I don't think it does it?
not
It's more
really.
around the virus and getting control, and about the fact that while everyone's being distracted by this virus and by the media piping up the racism thing, there's a lot of other things going on. They're distracting you.
Right.
They are distracting you.
All right, it's coming on the screen now, so I've posted it in Notepad. So basically, let's read out some of them and then we'll talk about them.
I mean, the first, it's, you know, it may be a conspiracy, but it starts with a fact. The entire world is in lockdown.
Yeah.
So
yeah, 5G. So 5G, right? I don't know. Like, there's so many. It's so controversial whether or not 5G is bad for you. I've read a lot of things and I've seen a lot of facts about the fact that 5G is in fact bad, and I can see, like, because I'm quite into IT, I can see how it would be bad for you. I mean, the signals are starting to get quite strong now.
And I don't understand how. Like, can you please explain to me and the plenty of other people who probably don't understand what is the bad thing about 5G?
So I don't understand it fully. Like, when I say I understand it, I don't understand it fully, but I understand the concept of how it could become dangerous. So it's because of the basically it's the radio waves in it. So if you're, like, for example, if you're next to a microwave, if I've got this headset on while I'm next to a microwave and this headset is communicating with this little box down here, I can't really. So the way my headset works is it Bluetooths from there to there. If the microwave is in between my headset and this box here, it'll start interrupting the signal. So it'll start basically like making a static noise. So basically, that basically tells you that there is something, like, even though you can't see it, it's in the way.
I remember when I was young, something used to happen when you'd if you was Bluetoothing, is it when you was playing music out the speakers, or if you was Bluetoothing, when you had a text come in,
my virtual mixer has frozen. 2 secs.
Ah. Can you hear me though?
Right, okay, we're back. Sorry about that. What was you saying, Judge?
Where did I get to? Anyway, do you remember when we were kids, right? So, and I'm sure this is sort of a similar example. You either had your phone connect when it was in speakers or when it was in Bluetooth, because the technology weren't so good, because it doesn't really happen these days. If you received the text, it'd start beeping, or there'd sort of be like it was strange. The only way I can describe it is it sounded a bit like a bee or a wasp.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you get a text.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't understand exactly how it works. What I'm trying to say is there is something there. There is something like interfere. Like, there is some, even though you can't see it, it's there. So the way it works is your phone's connecting with a 5G tower. So there is something going between your phone and
Yeah.
that 5G tower, and that can be dangerous because of how strong the signals are getting. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know whether it will cause cancer or we don't know this yet. We haven't experimented enough with it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you might be able to find on Google, but I'm sure there's a picture of somewhere where there's a tree facing a 5G tower, and half of the tree's dead,
Yeah. Okay.
and
So
half of it's fine. But then, do they plant them things to make it look like 5G's bad? You know what I mean? And apparently, there was a school. I can't remember where it was. You probably have to Google this as well. But there was a school where a load of the kids got ill. And then the teacher looked into it. This is sort of what brought it up, I think. A load of kids got ill in this school, and either a teacher or a parent looked into it, and a 5G tower had recently been installed there.
is this the right? Let me pull this up on the
I
screen.
don't know if they all got cancer. Which I obviously hope they didn't.
Is that the tree thing you're on about, where half of it's gone, like half the leaves are gone, the side
Yeah.
it's facing? Like,
Don't know if that looks real.
yeah, I mean that could be. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not really.
That ain't the one. Like it looks
Is that-
bushy.
Uh,
But the
okay,
one
we don't really know.
is the kids. The kids, they got ill in school. The kids got ill in the school. It was like the teacher or parent looked into it, and 5G had recently been installed. But recently, they've released all the documents online. To be fair, if you just typed in Google, "Is 5G bad for you?" The top few results now, and this wasn't the case before, and this is what this conspiracy gets to, that Google has suddenly sort of released everything.
The first thing that pops up is BBC News, so I don't even know if I want to look at it.
Well, when I Googled it the other day on my phone, all the first three were like doctors writing about why 5G is bad for you. And I'm not a doctor, I can't remember everything and explain it, but if you Google, it'll come up, and these doctors with their PhDs explaining, we believe 5G is bad and it needs more testing before it's released and this and that. They're like official documents. Go back. Hang on, how do I get this full screen now?
What about this one?
Now, these are like proper legit, like
if you could send me the link, bro, it'd be sound. I'll get it up.
Hang on then, because I need to go off this to do it. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
But yeah.
But while you're finding that, let's just look at something else.
They haven't come up now.
Yeah, so the next point that's made is Prince Harry and Meghan leave the royal family, and this is when it starts to get into the theory. So it says, "I would too if I found out my own family had my mother killed and were Satan worshipping child traffickers." I mean, like, that's arguable, but like, this is kind of what this whole theory points out, and there is a lot of facts in it, and it is very interesting, and like, conveniently it all adds up. So all in all, it basically just points out that there's a lot of the people that run the world and like the higher ups and stuff like that running a child fucking sex ring and human trafficking and all this bullshit. Like, I mean, I don't know how true it is, but they make some good points in here.
Well, Hillary Clinton's being investigated, isn't she? And I seen something the other day. She could potentially get done for treason.
Yeah, well, apparently it says here, WikiLeaks exposed Hillary Clinton for being a child sex trafficker along with Obama. Don't know who that is, sorry. And many other people in power. And she conveniently deletes over 300,000 emails and destroys a laptop and mobile phone she used.
But why is she apparently getting done for treason then? And, you know, what's gone on with her? So you could say maybe she's not done any of that, but these conspiracies are getting planted out there because of the other thing she's actually done, the treason, whatever that is, because I don't know what she's done.
Yeah, I don't know really. But
But I can't find the link, but when I searched the other day on Google about the medical, what's the word I'm looking for? Just sort of
medical risks.
Yeah, the medical risks of 5G. there was a lot of there was three. What the main one I can remember, there was three of them, and they were all really professional, written out like they were researched by scientists, and they all said it's bad. But to be fair, I don't know why they didn't just come up, and now I feel like that's dodgy.
Yeah,
because
like, there's a lot,
because they were at the top. They were at the it's like when they want you to see it, you see it.
I mean, like, the thing is, like, does no one think that 4G is fast enough? I mean, come on, guys, fucking hell. Like,
4G's great.
I know 4G is fast enough. Like,
for?
that's what I'm saying. Like, 5G is
Not for
hard.
Wi-Fi.
If it's harmful for us, then why should we be using it? Like, why should we take it that far? Maybe we like. Is there not somewhere where we should stop? For example, 4G. Should we stop at 4G and not continue?
5G because they want to advance technology, and they don't care if the weaker die. And maybe that goes back to why they're using the virus to wipe some people out, so that so it's easier for the world to cope with 5G.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
actually, I never really thought about it like that.
Elon Musk obviously spoke on Joe Rogan. I don't know how long ago it was now, a couple of months. And Neuralink's progressing, isn't it? Where they will put a microchip in the brain.
Yeah.
4G won't do that. 5G, I think that has something to do with 5G.
I don't think it's 5G. It's more because he's saying that there'll be a Bluetooth link going on there, so they don't really need 5G for that. But yeah, the idea of you put something in your skull, and it basically something to do with electrons, and it links with your brain, and it can cure basically broken parts of your brain. So say for example you've got Alzheimer's or like any kind of disease, anything wrong with your brain, it'll cure those areas in the brain. And say for example like you had like a lost limb and you have a replacement limb, and obviously you can't really control it with your brain. Well, apparently with this thing in your brain, in your skull, you would be able to control that limb as if it was.
Didn't they test that? Isn't that what they tested?
Yeah.
It's went okay.
Yeah, they're basically testing it, and so but they're starting off by testing it on patients with damaged brains, because obviously you don't go and test it straight on perfectly healthy human beings, do you? You test it first on.
We should be hearing about basically. All this.
Yeah, I mean, like yeah, I mean, like the only time I've heard about it was on Joe Rogan's podcast, really. But I haven't done any research, to be fair.
Why isn't it in the news all the time?
Because the news only wants bad news. That's why. Because the news only wants bad news. It's fucking stupid.
A lot of people think Elon Musk's up to no good. Just with all his space shuttles and satellites and his.
I think he's a fucking alien sent here to save us. I do. I don't know why, but I just feel like he's too fucking smart for us.
That's why he wants to take us to Mars.
Yeah, take us to Mars to save us from these fucking horrible cunts on this earth.
Ooh,
you know, these pricks. Yeah, sorry for saying that word. Sorry. Yeah, these horrible people that run our world, like they just clearly don't care about the rest of us, do they? But anyway, that's another podcast.
I don't think they do, and they just want control, and they just want, and all this I think comes into that. Do you know what I think we should do? Because obviously, when we're gonna interview people, we're obviously gonna talk to them about what they do and about their life, but then we're gonna ask them questions at the end.
Yeah.
So I think we should answer them questions ourselves, but obviously not as in depth as we could because of what they are. Because we'll talk about our views of them on a whole. Each question we'll do a whole podcast on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, man.
But we can sort of skim over them so that the people who are going to be coming on and just the people who are going to listen regular know the questions that people are going to be asked at the end of every podcast. Does that make sense? I'm just looking for them now. This is when we're planning. Right, so the first one, I'll ask you first, then give my my opinion. Are there aliens? But you've already answered it, really, because you think
100. Right, let me just get this straight, right? We are like, don't quote me on this is completely accurate. I don't think this is completely accurate, but we're like 1 in a billion planets or whatever in our fucking galaxy, and then there's like one in a million galaxies in the solar, like in I can't remember the name of each section, but you know what I mean. We're one in a billion of a billion of a billion. Like the
You know why?
space.
Because it's just ridiculous amount. It's an endless amount of numbers.
Yeah, it's just an endless amount of numbers, and we are literally a speck of dust in that whole thing. If you do not think there is another planet out there like ours that can give life, I'm sorry, but you're fucking.
They've even already said there are.
Well, yeah, they exactly. They said they are, but then also that's life for us, for people like for species like us. So like there might be another species that doesn't need oxygen and water and all that kind of stuff. Might need something else to live. Like you don't know, do you? Like we haven't been out there and looked for ourselves, so we don't know. Like and I truly believe that there is some other kind of extraterrestrial beings out there. Like for God's sake, like I'm not gonna get into it too much, but there's old paintings that had UFOs in. What, like we're talking about paintings from like the 1600s and shit. Like how the fuck did they know what a UFO looks like? UFOs weren't invented back then. Like a fake UFO or whatever we think a UFO looks like wasn't invented back then. And I can tell you the only reason why we know what UFOs look like is because we probably have come in contact with them in the past. May even own them at Area 51, for example. But yeah, I'm not getting into that because that's just like more conspiracy theories and whatever, and like stuff that I believe. But
we definitely own UFOs. We definitely own UFOs, regardless. But my opinion on the aliens: are there aliens? Yes. Now, an alien could, like you said, it could be anything. There could be a planet of worms. We ain't detecting no worms if they're all like this big. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, also, I don't think there is a planet of worms. I think the aliens out there are just so advanced and their technology is so amazing, we can't comprehend it. And the videos that have been declassified now by the Navy of the UFOs, they've even said themselves, we don't know what they are. Yeah. Now, if there was another country that had that technology and was hiding it, they'd say, because they'd be really worried. But the fact that they're just saying, we don't know what they are, it's like, it's probably aliens. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be aliens. I just definitely think that there's other life, because there has to be. Why are we so lucky? Why are we so lucky to be, everything just happened to come together for a big bang to create a universe that only one planet has oxygen and is surrounded by an ozone layer that means the sun doesn't burn it out and has water and perfect balance. Like we weren't created by a bang and fish evolving. Monkeys evolved to humans. Of course they did. That's been proven. But everything was created by something that weren't a bang. It's like, I think the Bible, I'm not going to get into it mainly, but even the Bible, I think, is semi-real, and it's not down to religion, because if you look, all of the religions really say the same thing. I remember watching a documentary years ago, Zeitgeist, and it's explaining how all the religions say basically the same thing. They all have the same message, and it's because I think they're all based off the same real events that happened in that aliens are real. They've been to Earth. They've helped us with technology. Look at pyramids, and they're perfectly to certain correlations of stars by coincidence. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
And there's this place, like, it's not Stonehenge, I can't remember what it's called now, but there's this place.
Stonehenge.
Yeah, whatever it's called, yeah. But there's another place like that where there's loads of rocks, like, all placed on their side. We're talking, like, multiple ton rocks, yeah, and they're all placed perfectly standing up, yeah. And then, like, if you look at them from the sky, like, you can see, like, a pattern and whatnot. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, how the hell did they get there all them years ago? Like,
exactly. Like, and even the pyramids, they're pointing to the stars. They're in line with the stars, and they also traveled thousands of miles with all these rocks, and the way they're built up, you can't. Well, it's been done. You need help. You need help to do that. There's the pyramid. Even the way technology advances, and things like what Bob Lazar talks about.
Yeah, Bob Lazar, yeah.
Bob Lazar, and all the the element that he said, was it element 115 or?
Yeah, element 115.
And when he spoke about it and mentioned it, it didn't exist. It does now.
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know about Bob Lazar is basically a guy that claimed to work at Area 51. I think it was back in the 1980s or 1970s or something like that. And he came out and he basically just wanted to tell the world. He's like, yeah, we're working on UFOs in there. And he got his credibility ruined. He mentioned in that interview on the news, he said element 115. He talked about it a bit. And then as of 2016, I think it was, element 115 is now on our periodic table, or coincidence. And
even he says, not necessarily aliens. It's different to alien. He's just talking about the technology mainly, isn't he?
Yeah. He's very, like, he just states the facts, like what he knows and what he's seen. So he thinks that this element 115 works as like it's kind of like anti-gravity, and like that's how the UFOs move. Like they move like a blip, so rather than like it defies the laws of gravity, so that's what he's saying. It's like anti-gravity, this element 115. It's almost like if you put two batteries together and they push away from each other. If you try to put your hands on this element 115, it pushes you away.
It could be.
Yeah, that's basically what he says. Like you can do the research yourself. Just go and look more up on Bob Lazar. What did you say then, Judge? Sorry, you broke up.
Could be time travelers. You know,
yeah,
could be a simulation. Who knows? But either way, I think there's aliens. But see, look how long we've just spoke about it there.
I know, it's ridiculous. Anyone who's watching this podcast, right, who doesn't believe in like different parallel universes, aliens, and all this mad stuff that possibly could exist, I'm sorry, but we do. Like, because you just don't. You gotta question stuff.
All I always say is you can't rule out anything
that
you can't disprove.
If you ask someone 60 years ago, can you speak to someone on the other side of the planet? Yeah, they're gonna say no, because you couldn't. Well, now you can. So who knows what's gonna happen in the next 100 so years?
Imagine showing cavemen a mobile phone. That's what people always say. Imagine showing cavemen a mobile phone.
Oh no, what is it? Yeah, Elon Musk. No, was it Elon Musk or so? No, Joe. I think it's Joe Rogan. He's like, if you drop a motorbike in the Stone Age, like just drop it off and then just leave it with them. No, it's Bob Lazar actually that said this. Sorry, so Bob Lazar's talking about the UFOs, and he was saying that like they don't understand them fully, and it'll take them ages to understand it fully. He said it's the best explanation you can give is like dropping off a motorbike in, like, I don't know, the 1600s. Okay, yeah, they might get the keys, they might turn the keys, get the engine running, but they'll never be able to recreate it. It'll take them ages to recreate it. They ain't got a clue how it works. They don't understand it. It's the same. It's the same concept basically as what happened with Bob Lazar and the UFO. If you believe it, I mean, you can do the research for yourself. But if you believe that's what happened, I mean, his credibility got ruined. The FBI still raids his house to this day. And this happened like 40 years ago. Like, it's ridiculous.
But if you watch, and because it was you who told me about it, and I thought, no, we'll see. You're always skeptical about these people with these claims. Once you see Bob Lazar, and you see how he speaks, how he doesn't want no fame, he just wants to get you think, you know what, you're not lying. You're not lying.
I don't.
And the fact he even acknowledges it's not necessarily aliens to me, he says, you're not lying.
I just love the way how
technology is real. What you're describing is real.
I love the way how he points out the fact. He only points out the facts because, like they say, like whenever he gets questioned about, like, he's not over exaggerating. He's not like, yeah, I know it works. Like, completely know it works. Yeah, I can work it. No. He's saying what he understands and how he thinks it may work, and he thinks that's a possibility of how it's gonna work. He's not saying that we even understand it at all. He's just saying the facts. So,
next question: what is the meaning of life?
Jesus Christ!
Like, according to a lot of people, Jesus Christ is the meaning of life.
I mean, I like that's the question. That's what I'm still chasing to this day. What the fuck is the meaning in life? Is it a simulation? Are we even real? Like, are we just here to breed and
Yeah,
die.
of course
Like,
you don't know. But
I
do you have a
fucking,
current opinion?
yeah,
Do you
that's
have
what
a
I mean.
current-
I think I just can't say I have a current opinion on it because I'm still chasing that meaning. I mean, I think
Well,
that's why I get so interested in like conspiracy theories like this and like science and stuff like that, because it's more towards the meaning of life, innit?
Does humans crave having meaning? The book I'm reading, The Chimp Paradox, very good book. Recommend it to anyone. Says humans crave having meaning. The Chimp Paradox is a book that I'd want to talk about. You need to read it.
Yeah, I need to read it.
It's so good the way it explains how brains work in terms of we all have a chimp, man. Chimp's real. The chimp is real.
Yeah,
Just an overview of it, and we'll talk about it. My view of the meaning of life. Again, wow, what a question! I'm not even prepared to answer that question myself.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it's just to be kind and breed. As bad as it sounds, it's just to populate. The way the system works and the way everything is how we live now. But the main meaning of life is to preserve it and breed. Literally, it's simple, I know. So that's why we long for more meaning. We want to create more meaning. And so you ask, well, why? Why do we need? What's it for? What are we preserving for? They're the questions. But I think the main aim, we're here to breed. What are we breeding for? It's strange. For the perfect race. For what? I'm not starting that now. So, third question: where did we come from?
Fucking hell. I got a theory, and when I say theory, it's just a theory. Right. So I always say this, but basically, why is it so evolution, always happens at the like if a species evolves, they all do it together. Like you don't get one that evolves and the other that doesn't, unless they live in a different habitat, I suppose. But why, if we came and we evolved from monkeys, why is there still monkeys? Why haven't they evolved into us then? I mean, there's a bit of proof that like apparently they are slowly starting to evolve, because I seen a video of like a monkey hunting with with a stick. I'm not even joking. He seen a human doing it and he started hunting fish with a stick. So it's like they're saying that the monkeys go into Stone Age now. But why are we so intelligent compared to every other being on this planet? Like we are way more intelligent. We are on a different level, and I feel like it's because, like, again, this is just a theory. We are extraterrestrial beings, so we've come from some other extraterrestrial beings from a different planet, but they've breeded with something on our planet, for example, or they're experimenting. And if you go back in time and you look at like the horsemen, was that what these mythical creatures? Were they just mythical creatures, or were they failed experiments? Were we the successful experiment? Do you know what I mean?
I always say that all these ideas that you see in movies and everywhere come from somewhere. Yeah, imagination, but the idea comes from somewhere. Planted by something. I get what you're saying. Fully get what you're saying. The Chimp Paradox, again, going back to the book. The thing that you asked the question, why are we so intelligent? Because we don't have the chimp. That's the difference between us and the animals. They're not. It's not chimps. It's how all animals just live off emotion and instinct, whereas we have the capability of thinking logically. That's different to human.
But why do we have that? That's the thing.
Nah, exactly. That's the question. Exactly.
Where do we get that from?
I seen. I can't remember the exact breed. It was either a chimpanzee or a gorilla, but 98% the same DNA as us. 98%. There's only that 2% difference, but that 2% is like how you see our world compared to living in the jungle.
Yeah.
Like a monkey.
Maybe that's all they needed. These aliens, these crazy aliens, they needed just 2% of themselves into a monkey, and it created us. Imagine.
Which means imagine what they're like.
Yeah.
That's only 2% of them. And my theory is quite similar. I think we were created. Of course we were created. I think we were created by something otherworldly, because I just don't think a bang could just lead to this. And I think that's where, going back to the Bible, the sort of God image and that creator is based on aliens.
Ask yourself as
That's
well.
what I think.
Ask yourself as well. What came first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Like, how did
Exactly.
the first human, get here? And like, because we have to breed,
Apparently,
to
apparently
continue.
evolved, but
Yeah.
then
So like,
apparently
but fucking,
evolved, but so that there was enough at the same time that evolved together to breed. So obviously evolved at the same rate, so that there was then enough to breed and breed and breed. So technically everyone's related, which is strange, but that's not right. We know that's not right because otherwise everyone would already be the same color. But then that's like, why are people different color?
yeah.
Going back, why?
That's a different question. I mean, I suppose it's like I said before, habitats in it. So like, where depends where
Why
you
are
live.
habitat? Why are habitats different? So many. Why isn't the Earth just exactly the same everywhere?
Yeah.
I know. I know. People say, "Oh, it's because of the where it's positioned to the sun, where your country is." The Earth spins the same way.
Yeah.
Why isn't it the same
It's
everywhere?
mad. It's mad, bro. Like,
I don't know. There might be. I'm going to Google it after this podcast. To be honest,
it's just different
because we're
areas of
all
the
still
earth.
in that same ozone layer, so technically everything should be the same, weather-wise. Surely.
I suppose it's what's been going on the earth, isn't it? More than
With this advanced technology, because the aliens just subtly advance us every few years. Here you go, have some electricity. Einstein. Here you go, have
yeah.
some electricity.
That's another theory I've got as well. Actually, like, why the hell did we jump in like technology so quickly, man? I feel like we had help.
We did. This is what I'm saying. We did. We definitely did. And the way we work, we have electricity in our brains. We have electricity in our brains. Yet a human discovered and invented electricity. How? It's
Yeah.
already in our brain. Someone else has discovered and invented it to make us.
Yeah. That's fucked. That's a blow your mind type shit. That.
It does. It does. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, but that's that one. That's that question. Right. Fourth question. Question a lot of people don't like thinking about, talking about, but we know everyone does. What do you think happens when we die? Without getting too deep. Without getting too deep and upset. Because it is sad.
I'm not going to get too deep on it, but I feel like you do live on somehow. I can't explain how, because I don't know. But I feel, well, it's more of hope. It's more, I don't feel, more hope that you live on in some kind of way. Maybe like, I don't know, just your soul lives on, your body dies. Some kind of way like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe you figure all these questions we've been asking and questioning. I mean, maybe you figure everything out once your time runs out.
Your reward for living life is when you die. You find out everything.
Yeah.
Wherever your conscience goes, because that's what I think. My theory as well. What separates us to the animals is that conscience. That conscience must go somewhere. How do you kill? Like, how do you kill a conscience? Because even your brain's just an organ, but there's that something in there that makes us us. That can't die. I think it's it's a strange subject, but I just think there must be something. There could well not be, but when I was watching again Joe Rogan the other day, and he was saying when you dream, you essentially you don't die, but you just go somewhere.
Yeah,
just unless you remember your dreams, you have no idea. You're just gone. That's it. You just shut off from this world for however long you're asleep. So theory is wherever you go when you dream, that's where you go when you die. I know you don't always have dreams, but you sort of you enjoy your sleep, don't you? You know you're there still. Like, it's weird. Sleep is weird, and the best thing he said was people aren't scared to go to sleep, but they're scared to die.
Yeah.
So that's all I think. You just everyone does think about it and worry about it, but it's just the biggest part of life. It's the only other thing you're guaranteed other than tax.
Tax. Oh shit! That post that I pulled up earlier actually, fucking says at the end. This is good news if you want to look into this. Hold on. Where is it? Some of the big banks will go bankrupt. They're already on their knees. Income tax will go away.
That's what they want.
And that'll be fucking awesome, won't it?
the economy's going bust. The income tax is going to go away because no one's going to have income. That's why. Because the economy's just gone and crumbled.
Imagine not having tax. Imagine not getting, like, I don't know, let's say you earn just over £1,000 a month. Imagine not getting that £300 taken away every month. Imagine how much more freedom you would have.
Because the rich would still be richer, and the people who are in the really well-paid jobs and like people moan about the footballers getting paid 300 grand a week, but they pay half of that in tax. So they'd be a lot richer, but then the economy would sort of come closer together. So like the footballers, they wouldn't be on all that because they don't have to pay half in tax. They'd just be on the 150. And yeah, they'd have more money, but everyone who doesn't get paid thousands of pounds a week or even thousands of pounds a month, but still has to pay quite a lot of tax, they'd just be a lot more comfortable because they'd still sort of live to their means with a bit of money. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like we were saying, there's enough for there to be no poverty. Now, there might not be in countries like Africa, but in England there is. No one should be struggling. No, and there's people who are probably watching this and listening that are themselves. Not going to pretend to be rich myself, but no one needs to, really. I mean, look how much money the government have suddenly found while there's been this virus to give everyone. And then, yeah, they're going to probably rinse everyone and make them pay it back, but they soon found billions of pounds.
Yeah, I mean, like, while we're talking about the system as well, I mean, like, going back to, like, life and all that, the meaning of life and all that shit, like, if you're someone that's, like, I don't understand why this is why I think the system's fucked, right? Because if you're someone, right, that's, like, struggling to pay your bills, yeah, and you've only got, like, a little bit of money left over for yourself at the end of the month, and you work in, like, I don't know, for example, no offense to anyone that works in a factory, but you work in a fucking factory, you're doing the same thing day in, day out, 8 hours a day. It's fucking, honestly, right, it's mentally fucking draining, man. Like, how, like, they wonder why, like, suicides happen so much and that. Like, how do you expect someone to live like that? They're literally putting 8 hours a day. It's just, it's not fair, man.
But a lot of people do and are absolutely fine with it, and because everyone's just used to that's how life is, and that's how
it doesn't have to be. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not like that for everyone, of course. There's certain people who do different and push themselves, but it's just you conform to it. Factories are like schools. I've worked in a few factories. I think you have. They're like schools. But again, a couple of the best years of my life were Rico.
Yeah.
People I met, but it's because the people there are amazing. All them people are better than Rico. And it's not a criticism to them because they're doing what they've got to do, because the system has got you. You've got to do what you've got to do to make money. So they have to do that job because they don't have the opportunity to go and do what they actually want to pursue. People should. It's the way it all starts from the bottom in the education. And when you're in school, people should be set up to go in the direction they want to go in. Whereas you have the subjects that you have to do, maths, English, science, and then you pick your options, which are only a select few. School should be more like university in terms of, primary school, you can't really change. You have to get that base knowledge. But second, you should be able to just pick what you want to do from as soon as you go to secondary school, because you've just got more of a chance of being amazing at it. That's what I think. I mean, if I could have done a course, I absolutely love football. If I could have done a course through school to make it so that I could have my coaching badges and learn how to coach and stuff.
Yeah, you would have pursued
That's
it.
Insane.
That's the problem, is a lot of people get forced to pursue something that they're not fully interested in. Like, if you don't put all your passion into something, how do you expect to get the best results out of it?
Exactly.
Like, if you're forced into it, like, how do you expect to like enjoy it? For you to succeed and do well in something, you have to enjoy it. And like, majority of things why people don't succeed is because they don't enjoy it. They want to do something that they do enjoy, but there's boundaries in the way. For example, the system.
A girl I know, she lives in London. She loves her life, and it made me so happy when she said to me the other day. I said, how's work? We were just talking about work. She said, I don't work because I love what I do, so no days like work. And the thing is the day before she was moaning that she was so busy and was working till so late, but then the next day for her to still have that long day and think she's stressed, and I'm having to pep talk her saying, nah, if you're busy, that's a good thing because it means you're doing productive stuff and working. The next day she's like, you know what though, I love it. It's not even a job, it's just what I love doing. Yeah, if she works for herself, she's self-employed. If she wanted to, she didn't have to work until late. So that's what I'm saying to her. Well, you're busy. If you're busy, it's because you're being productive. You're doing well. If you want to stop, just stop. You're self-employed, but you like what you're doing. You put your all into it. There's a picture that used to go around, and it was saying the system's set up for people to fail because I'm sure it's like an elephant, a giraffe, a monkey, different animals, and then there's a tree, and it says climb this tree, and it's sort of saying everyone's expected to do well, but the tests aren't made for. They're not suited for everyone. Like the tests climb a tree, but how do you expect the elephant to climb the tree?
Yeah, it's
right. The monkey's going to do it. The elephant's not able to.
That's mad that you said that because I was about to say something about that. Actually, it was like I was about to say that like a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, well, people are stuck in dead end jobs or whatever because they haven't tried hard enough. No, it's not because they haven't tried hard enough at all. To be honest, it's because not everybody has the same mindset, and not everybody has the tools to get where they need to go. Do you know what I mean? Because of the restricted system, like the restrictions are the system. It's just I'm not saying I've got the answers. I'm not saying, oh, look, like, here you go, this is how the world should run. I'm just saying the system's fucked and something needs changing, really, because not everybody can pursue things. I mean, come on, you spend 8 hours a day doing stuff you don't really want to do. Why?
Yeah, they're not lazy. They're not lazy people. Rico's 12-hour shifts. They're not lazy.
No. We're here for.
It's not about effort.
We're here for about what, 80 years, 70 years, 60 years. When you're gonna die? You know what I mean? You're only here for that time. Yeah. Why do you want to spend 8 hours of a day doing something you don't want to do? It's ridiculous, and you're forced into it. Otherwise, you're on the streets, or you can't get fucking a roof over your head, or you're fucked, innit? If you don't.
Yeah, you have to. System set up so you have to. And then if you do, you can pursue and get to where you want to get to. And I'm a believer if you get out what you put in, you want to do something, work hard at it, do it. But it's hard. Like we want to do this podcast. If we could do it all day, every day, we'd do really well, I think.
Yeah, we would do it. We would do it,
we ain't got time because we have to go to work.
Like, yeah, because we got to go to work, man. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing, you know. We like our jobs. We like our jobs, of course we do.
Yeah.
Not as much as we'd like to do this all the time. But it's life. It is life. But then it's a case of, but if we put the extra work in, you get rewarded.
Yeah.
You still have to sort of push yourself as well. It's not a lack of effort. It's a lack of determination and motivation. But some people as well are just, if they're happy, they're happy. It's their life, you know. Some people just think, well, I'm just happy, I can just go to work. Yeah, I'll do the same thing for 8 hours a day, but it's easy and chilling, and I'm getting paid for it and can just live my life.
And that point.
About how much you want out of life. It's about how much you want out of life as well.
Yeah, I hate the way everything's like a rush as well, though. Like everything's just a pure rush. So like, you haven't got much time to do things you want to do either. So like, I don't know, you know, like for example, I got to wake up at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Well, I've got to be ready for work tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, so I've got to go to bed by this time, and I've got to have this amount of sleep to get up at this time to be ready. And it's just like, it's always restricted. Life feels so restricted. Do you know what I mean? It's always, what have I got to do next? What have I got to do? Like, why can't sometimes we just live in the goddamn moment? Do you know what I mean? And we only get like 20, well, most companies give you like 20 something days off a year. Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous, man. Like, you're telling me I can only have 24 days of my life every year? Crazy, man. Sounds like modern day slave labor to me. Don't know about you guys.
It does, but we've gone off with these questions. The last question. Because you know what, I don't want to start now on it because, like I say, modern day slave labor. Like we said last week, we're all slaves, but we'd start talking for another hour. What will life be like in 5,000 years? Is the last question. It doesn't have to be 5,000, really. Actually, it's just more. Where can you see the What's the next stage for our civilization? Where's it going?
The next stage is migrating with technology. So at the moment, you've got the bandwidth that between you and a phone, for example, is 2 thumbs, right? So your phone, you got 2 thumbs. You're inputting. Let's just use an example, 20 bits a second or something like that with your thumbs. So you're inputting 20 bits a second. The next stage is to migrate with the technology. So instead of doing 20 bits a second, you're doing terabytes a second. For anyone that doesn't know data, so for example, when you download a photo, it's like 4,000 KB or something like that. Like, if a terabyte is just insanely fast. So for what I'm saying is now we're doing let's say for example, we'll use an example of 1 KB we're inputting into the phone. It's going to be times by 1 million, for example. So when we actually, for example, Elon Musk's little thing that he's putting in your skull to communicate with your brain, that the bandwidth transmission is really fast. So that's the next stage. At the moment, we're already cyborgs. You want to know a question, what do? You go on Google, you type it in. You want to know a math equation, unless you're insane at maths and it's a hard one, you're going to go on your calculator, you're going to type it in, you're going to find it out. You're a cyborg already. You're already a cyborg. You've got data on your computer, right? That data is essentially your memory. It's your memories. You need to remember something. Oh, it's on a document on my computer. Okay, that's just part of your memory. The next stage is migrating it with your body so that you've got access to it instantaneously and you don't have to tap on your phone or click on your mouse or type on your keyboard. The next stage is instantaneous connection with these devices.
And if people don't believe that, Elon Musk tells us, and he tells us that he's doing it. So
it's already happening.
We know how much of a genius he is, and there is plans. He will find a way to get it done. That is the direction we are going in. But what does that mean for civilization? Where's civilization going with that? How are we going to be living?
I mean, it depends how fast it happens, really.
What other technology is going to advance? Are there suddenly going to be... Are we getting to the age? Remember back in the days when we were kids and you'd watch them shows and it'd show the future and there'd be all hoverboards everywhere and people are flying around in essentially UFOs, but all cars, they don't have wheels, they're all floating. Are we getting to them days? Essentially, one day will we all be... We won't be driving around, we'll be flying around.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I suppose
you can drive if you want as an option, but there'll also be a sort of certain height in the sky where air vehicles drive.
Maybe.
All buildings are getting taller. Buildings in cities are all getting taller. I think civilization is just technology, of course, is just going to advance and advance and advance. It's only going to advance to the point where essentially the world will be full of robots. Now, it's already full of robots. Of course, it is. Phones, computers, TVs, a lot of things. But I think we're going to get to the point where there's going to be robots that are very, very, very similar to people in the way they act and the way they
AI.
AI is probably coming, but it's coming to the point where it's going to be controlled by the government. So AI is not going to be good. It's just going to be armies will be AI and sort of security. Anything that sort of keeps power, keeps control. Police. Also fire departments. And I mean, if you can make Dr. Robots, fantastic, because they'll never get anything, especially surgery. If you can
that's the thing. It depends how reliable they are, doesn't it?
But yeah, that's the problem. Human error is not the best, but at least the humans making the decision based on judgment. It's tough, but I think there's certain industries robots would be great. They would be great. I think you'll get to the point where you can get robots driving cars, delivering food.
Well, we already use them anyway. We use robots to build stuff. Like, remember at Johnson's?
No, robots everywhere. Yeah, robots
Yeah.
are everywhere. But I think we will get to the point where they are advanced, very advanced.
Yeah, very advanced. Yeah.
And but they'll be in the wrong hands. Also, will.
Yeah, I feel
course
like
they
it's
will.
going to be quite dangerous as well, because they will be in the wrong hands. You get people like, I don't know, for example, you get people like Hitler in this day and age with AI. It ain't going to be like, there ain't even going to be a chance to react, man. AI will
I think
just
there's
take...
another war coming. I think there's going to be another 5 to 10 years, which is
Yeah.
a very nice thing to say.
Yeah, because sadly, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but there's just so much shit going on. Like,
Just everyone hates each other. People hate each other. Countries hate each other. There's so
yeah,
much politics all the time. Countries seem to be falling out more and more. And sort of, it's us against the world. Get your allies. That I just think it's just going to go all wrong at some point, and there's just going to be a major war. Don't know what's going to trigger it. It could already be being triggered now, and instead of it being a normal war, that's what because we've had world wars that have, but they've not really been world wars. It's been a certain select few countries against Germany.
yeah.
I think both times.
Mate, if you look, imagine if you was an alien, right, and you was looking down at our planet and you was observing our planet. What would you take in? Like, what would you take in? Because
chaos. That's what I'm saying.
it's just fucking chaos,
they're
man.
creating a war.
Stupidity and dumb shit, man.
Now, what I'm saying is, I
Literally.
think they've had world wars, but it's been a select few certain countries. What's happening? The next war that's coming is, it's not going to be world wars as such. It's just going to be everyone hates each other, like all the countries just rebelling against their own governments. It's all going to be destroying each other from within. Countries won't need to go to war with each other because all the wars are happening. Like already, a mini battle happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Things like that. In fact, no, and then I think other countries will get in a war as well because it's just people just love conflict. People just love conflict and wanting power and wanting to have. So I think that at some point there'll be a war. The only way for there to not be is people being smart, not being brainwashed by the media, and doing their own research into things before they make key decisions about like sort of what government parties they're voting for, just every aspect to living their life, but mainly who they vote for. Which anyone can vote for whoever they want for, but just make sure you have the right agendas when you do it. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, how have we ended up with Boris Johnson and Donald Trump as president and prime minister? Like, I didn't vote for Boris Johnson. It's just ridiculous, and I think
I don't know. It just feels all a bit chaotic at the moment. It just feels like everybody's being fucking dumb. Everybody's doing dumb shit. Everybody's like, why the fuck were there any world wars in the first place? You know what I mean? Why do we need to get to the point where thousands and thousands of like people are just fucking dying? Like, for what? What? Because someone's got a fucking opinion on someone else or someone? Like, come on. Like, can we not just be like a chilled race? You know what I mean? Why we always got to turn to violence, wars, fucking arguments and whatnot. Like, people love it. They fucking sit on Facebook, and they start having arguments with each other. They fucking love it. They go on like they don't. They fucking do.
No, Isaac said it. He's like, when you go down Facebook, it's all negative, negative, negative. And I just said to him, yeah, it is. So I'm not on there. But if I was, I'd just make sure I added all right people. So what I decided to do is I thought, I'm just going to use Facebook. I've had to make an account anyway to be an admin for the podcast. I'm just going to use it and prove the point to myself. It's only been a couple of days. I ain't seen no drama. I've seen a lot of people posting about what's going on, but because all these people that I've added are decent people, they're all posting like the same opinions. Do you know what I mean? People love conflict, love argument, but then will complain about it. It's crazy. I've had that problem. I've been programmed like that myself. I'll preach kind and don't argue, and someone will do my head in, and I'll have a go at him. because your emotions take over. It's emotion.
Yeah.
That's where your emotions take over, and that's because even though, and Isaac said it last week, even though we are human and have that logical side, we have them primal instincts.
Yeah, we do.
Just want to conquer and have territory, and males want to conquer women. And I mean, I'm terrible for women. I am terrible, so bad. I'll
What you
admit
mean,
it.
bro?
I'm admitting it right now. Like, I love women. I don't care because that's because dude,
I think the majority of us do, bro.
no, exactly, because we're men and
Mm.
women don't. Oh, I'm not gonna start, and I'm not being nasty. Women need to understand it's a man thing because there's always another woman. As harsh as it sounds, there's always another, and they're all great. You're all great. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, and that's the animal instincts. That's the animal instincts. That's the because we're made to breed. We're made to breed. And I just the other animal instinct is conquer, dominate, like all these countries that dealt with coronavirus better and stuff have all got women in charge because women don't just want to conquer pride and look better.
Yeah, it's fucking
They
right.
think logically. They think actually there's a virus here. Let's all like just like sort
Let's
of
think
like,
logically.
women get like in a not a harsh way. Women just get defensive in your fight or flight. Women will get defensive, and it'll be flight. But with men, it'll be like, no, we'll fight this virus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I
Nah,
just
I get what
think
you mean.
it's the animal instincts. That's why there'll always be war and hate. The
I know, but
thing
it's
is,
just don't like. Can we not just better ourselves to the point where we don't need it? You know what I mean?
nah, because we can't get rid of them.
It's
That's
ridiculous.
why technology. That's why it's gonna advance. The only way civilization is gonna advance and have peace is if we were all robots, which we're not. Technology will keep advancing and keep advancing, but as long as there's us humans, the problem with the world is humans. Everyone knows this because we're smart enough to know better, but still have them animal instincts. Whereas if we were just animals without the logical side, where we can make our weapons and fly our planes and basically take over the world with technology, if we were just pure animals with no weapons, no bricks to build these houses, and all that to live in mud huts, animals would wipe us out. It's like we would not be anywhere near the top of the food chain. We wouldn't even eat meat. Let's not get into that. We wouldn't even eat meat. Maybe eat fish. Fish are easy to catch. I could go out with a spear now and catch a fish from trench port. It's not hard. But then I probably couldn't go and take down a horse. Or a cow. Well, horse isn't a good. Who eats horse meat? A cow. I couldn't go and take down a cow because I'm not meant to. I couldn't just go and bite a chunk out of it because I'm not meant to. It's technology that's advanced us, and that's what makes us so dangerous and bad. And as technology advances, we're just going to become more dangerous and more bad, and going to end in a disaster. I think, unless we realise, think, hang on, let's use all this technology and resources we have to not fight each other, and all. If the whole world joined forces, used everything the whole world has as resources together. Wow, what a life! But we can't have that because then the people in power wouldn't have everything they have compared to the people not in power.
Yeah.
I think we're done because they're the questions.
Yeah, they're the questions.
And it's been good.
Yeah. I mean, we got a bit off topic sometimes, but
it's a podcast. It's not scripted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are gonna need to start guesting with us soon, guys, because we want you all to come and show yourselves, show the good things you're doing. Let's get good people out there talking about the good things they're doing. It's all negative. Even tonight, it's not been negative, but there's not been much positive things to talk about. It's been coronavirus. It's been coronavirus, protests, another black murder. Oh, see, I've just done it myself. They didn't even stereotype it as being murdered, but it was.
Fucking hell, what's your name, media?
More police brutality. It's only sort of when we've been asking the questions and talking about the general things. People, come and show yourselves. Talk about what you think. the meaning of life is. If you think there's aliens, what you do, promote yourself. You just want to get good people to get good messages out there. Really, that's the main thing. It's been great. We don't know what we're going to talk about next.
No, we don't know. We'll figure it out.
Pretty soon, we're going to be recording from the cave. We'll get it all set up nice. There is backstory to the cave. It's somewhere where not just us two, a group of us have been chilling years and years.
Yeah. It's
And
it's
so
our little place to escape from society and not get in trouble and just chill. You know, just chill and have fun, man.
We're cavemen, and we want to get people in the cave, talk about, well, just join us, have a chill, have a chat.
Yeah, man.
It's been great. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Peace.
Peace, man.